All right, folks, meteorologist Joe Haynes here with your Mega 3 live stream. Let's get you updated on what's happening weather-wise. Today was a very warm day that goes down in the record books, according to the Shreveport National Weather Service in Shreveport. 82 the high. That was just 2 degrees shy of a record today, 18 degrees above average. And the low this morning, 66, and the average low is about 42. Records are 15 and 84 there. So we were way up there on the north end or above average here today. And what makes the averages are, of course, the extremes. And so today we're on the high side of that. Our KTBS 3 weather watcher is also on the high side of that, too. This is a representation of the towns around the Arklatex, what their afternoon weather turned out to be concerning temperature. Ken Walton, New Boston, 85 today. Chuck Cam, Redwater there just down the road, 82. Over in Texarkana, 83, according to Reed Eisenhower. Same goes for Mr. Brian Loper in Atlanta. And then in Louisiana, Vic Scarborough and Ida had 81. 87 for Bob Fentress over in fabulous downtown Bellevue there. Wayne Hatfield and Homer, he had 81. A little bit farther south, way far south there, Barry Howard and Clarence at 82. Kay Berry up in the Stonewall area checked in at 81. Bob Baker and Carthage, the same, low 80s. And June Jones in Elysian Fields made it to 80 degrees this afternoon. Again, averages about 63 for this time of year in that latitude of the Arklatex. Around the Shreveport-Bossier metro area, had Mike Lyles at 83. Ronnie Hull there in Shreveport, 81. Gary Stratton and Blanchard there in the mid-80s. Benton, same goes, mid-80s for Randall Elliott and also Molly Rankin. And Bob Britton up in Sarepta at 85 degrees. Thank you, weather watchers, for your representation today. Toasty day across the Arklatex, but I suspect we probably didn't have too many complaints out there. Current temperature readings, well, still in the 70s over a good deal. The Arklatex, including Texarkana, Hope, Shreveport, Ringgold, Ruston, you name it. A few areas in the 60s, Mount Pleasant and Idabel. But again, about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon is about the average time that our highs or maximum readings occur. And we're still there, and it's already nightfall. So you can tell it's a very warm air mass out there. Here's our Wells Knight Mega 3 Doppler radar, and quite a bit of ground clutter showing up. Even could be some birds or bugs up there around the Caddo Lake showing up there. But that's it. No inclement weather to speak of concerning precipitation. Not a big chance that we'll see anything for tonight. There's slight odds, though, as our weak cold front, our next weather maker, moves through the area, that it could kick up a stray shower. And the numbers reflect the chance of at least 1/100th of an inch of rain at your location. So mainly the southern and eastern part of the area, you might see some measurable rain, but out of 100%, it's pretty low confidence, in my opinion, that you'll see measurable rain. Again, 1/100th of an inch is enough to wet the ground. That's about it. So not a big chance of measurable rain for tonight. Tomorrow, same odds, slight possibility, but more of the Arklatex is in on the mix there as once our first weather maker moves on by, the tail end of it will start backing to the north as a warm front. And also we'll have a southwest flow aloft where we'll still have little weather disturbances passing by ahead of our next weather disturbance or next significant one, which will be for Saturday morning. But nonetheless, you could see a sprinkle or two during the course of the day, and we'll have more clouds around as we go through tomorrow. And also, too, that smoke from Oklahoma that we had around today. So here's a short-term precision cast or frontal boundary, weak frontal boundary, kind of a wind shift, really, pushing through. And the computer model does indicate, the short-term model here, this is called the HRRR, does indicate that a couple of showers could kick up there. Very light rain showing up in the light green colors. You can see the scale at the top there. So really not expecting too much, but again, we're covering our forecast tracks there as we're giving you a slight possibility of measurable rain. So if the computer model if the solution comes to fruition, then that forecast checks out. That you got a slight chance of rain. So that's midnight, and then kind of goes away. And then behind the front, we start seeing a couple sprinkles here and there or stray showers during the course of the day. And that's not a whole lot there, but some of those do move up to the north, but very much hit and miss there. So aerial coverage, not much to it at all. According to the GFS computer model, the rain amounts tonight, if there's anything to be had, just barely measurable there. Again, 1/100th of an inch would confirm that 20% forecast, 20% chance forecast. As we go through Saturday, our next weather system, which is a little bit stronger, nothing like last Saturday, though, when we had a severe weather outbreak. But the next weather system is slightly stronger, but still it doesn't have a whole lot of moisture to tap into. And so, in other words, just barely enough rain to measure. And this will be through Sunday morning there. And afterward, I think we're pretty much done. I don't think our rain chance comes back into play until possibly late next week. So the fire danger kicks right back up there. So one little disturbance is helping to push a weak cold front through. That's that little dash line there in the center part of the country. The stronger one's out on the west coast, and that's been dumping feet of snow up there in the California higher mountains, and that's headed our way. But a lot of its moisture will be wrung out over the Rockies, and so once it gets past there, it won't have much time to pick up any more moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. It'll have a little bit of Pacific moisture lingering with it with that southwest flow. You can kind of see the way the jet stream's going here, where I have written Saturday's system. You can see the cloud line there kind of working in from the southwest. And so that picks up a little bit of moisture over the Pacific and brings it over. But once it reaches the mountains, a lot of that is just kind of wrung out on the western side or the windward side of the mountain. So bottom line is not a whole lot of rain from these two disturbances is forecast for us. Here's a big picture. So we got our one little front that'll be passing through this evening. Here's the next one. That's the surface part of that upper level trough, that little dip in the jet stream. And that'll be here for Saturday morning. That's a projected timeline of that. Temperature-wise, we were one of the warmest in the whole United States, the whole lower 48 today. And even at with the hour of 8 o'clock, it's still very warm throughout the Southland, Southeast United States. Northern sections, though, you're looking at 0 and below 0. That's pretty much some late season Arctic air hanging out there. We won't catch that, but we'll get a little bit cooler as this weather system comes on by. So we have our one disturbance moving by tonight, and then that one on the west coast that comes to visit us on Saturday morning. So that little dip. So the jet stream, the upper level river wind blows parallel to those lines. And if you're into meteorology, this is the 500 millibar chart. So we're looking at in the higher elevations about 18,000 feet, and as you get up toward the northern borders, probably 12,000, 10,000 feet elevation. So this is kind of like a level, a constant pressure surface level here. So what we're looking at is this little dip in the jet stream. That's a trough where you get your inclement weather. Will be right near the axis there and also to the east of it. And so that's what's projected to come our way as we venture on into your Saturday. Now, it'll have a surface part to it. This is probably, a cold front at this elevation, but also at the surface, it'll have a surface reflection that's strong enough for that. And then it moves on by as we get into your Sunday, and behind it, the good old-fashioned ridge builds in over the western United States, and those folks really heat up quite a bit. We get into a northwest flow that just kind of keeps us dry for a good deal of next week. So here's the surface part. So we got this evening's frontal boundary or wind shift passing through. It gets over to the east of us, and then that next system, the next trough out west, comes a little closer, and it has that surface front to it, and it has a warm front, and it starts drawing that warm air across the mountains, across Texas, and it starts pulling the warm front, the red line, right up across our area. This is as early as tomorrow. And so in advance of that, there could be a few spotty showers, quite a bit more cloudiness around. I mean, not a 100% cloudy day, but a mostly cloudy day with a few sprinkles. Then we get into tomorrow night and then early Saturday as that next surface front comes our way with that trough. And you got a little surface low comes by, you could get a few showers. Now, you might recall a week ago that we had almost the same scenario, but with a much stronger trough in the upper atmosphere with the surface low cutting right across the Louisiana border there. And we had all kinds of severe weather on our hands. Well, this time around, not anticipating that, much weaker setup. And we don't have any Gulf of Mexico moisture to really speak of whatsoever. So very moisture limited. So just some stray showers this time around with the relative same look weather feature. And then it moves on by and down the road south and east of us, there's a little more moisture for some rain. But for us, by Saturday afternoon, we got sunshine back in the picture, and then clear skies for Saturday night. And then Sunday, just a sunny and cool day behind that front. And well, that's pretty much it. A few high clouds will drift in, but nothing any particular interest there other than just a partly cloudy sky. So anyway, bottom line is for tonight, a cool night out there. Not a very good chance of rain in Shreveport, Bossier. Temperatures probably near 40 up in Oklahoma and Arkansas. Low to mid 50s from Toledo Bend on up toward I-20. Northeast Texas, probably the 40s for you. And then for tomorrow, the lower 70s. So today we're in the lower 80s, tomorrow a little bit cooler. Just a slight chance of a measurable rain from a stray shower or two. It's not a washout for you. So if you're working outdoors or doing some concrete work or what have you, I don't think it's going to be a major problem for you. Highs will be in the 60s, Highway 82 corridor, I-30 corridor, and then probably the lower 70s to mid 70s from I-20 south. So still above average, even behind this weak cold front and some clouds and a couple of showers around, still well above average for this time of year, afternoon temperature-wise. Even the morning temperatures, too, about 10 degrees each way above average. So slight chance of rain tomorrow, high 72. Same goes for Saturday morning, and then clearing for the afternoon, high 72. And then behind that Saturday front, it'll cool down some. We'll be in the upper 30s, and that's closer to average by we get into your Sunday morning, and then highs in the lower 60s. And then we're at the mid-30s to the upper 50s on Monday, and some frost around there. We can still get frost this time of year. It's only February, so we got a little ways to go before spring arrives. We're about a month away from spring now, so we still got a ways to go, but feeling more like an average day there on Monday. Then we get into your Tuesday, we're warming back up in the 60s, and you kind of see why the wind direction out of the south. So that's a warming wind for us, south to southeast. North wind for Saturday and Sunday and Monday, and then a south wind there for Tuesday. And then southerly winds really kicking up there, so that moisture and warmth, we call that warm air advection, come rolling in from the Gulf there on Wednesday, highs in the mid-70s. Then the next weather system could bring us a few showers or even some thunderstorms, a slight chance of measurable rain there next Thursday with highs in the mid to high 70s. So that's a weather briefing for you there. Let's see, we'll be back in almost 45 minutes if you want to catch us on KPXJ CW21 News at 9. All the latest news, sports, and weather. And then if you can't get us there or you want to watch a little more of us, we'll be on KTBS Channel 3 News at 10. Well, we appreciate you watching here tonight. You have a nice evening, and we'll see you back at 8 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock in the evening, Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, it's mostly to 8 o'clock in the evening for this live streaming. Have a nice evening there, folks.